Greeting interwebs, it's Jackie K, and I guess welcome to another edition of Game and Chill. Not quite sure whether to count this or not. Mostly because I'm thinking about sitting down next weekend and recording and playing some Legends Arceus to do a Game Chill proper, but time's going by fast, so I figure I'd give you all at least the general update now before we get too late into the month. So, big thing of note, Lost Age Randomizer is wrapping up this week, if it hasn't already ended by the time you're seeing this. And I don't really have anything to take its place at the moment, so for now I'm going to be focusing on uploading Pokemon XG on average twice a week. Some weeks I might only do once a week. I would check the community posts, the calendar I should say, on my community posts for more details, but generally I'm shooting for 2 XG videos a week for this month. Certain weeks like this particular one, I may only do once a week. Oh man, I'm still getting into the swing of recording and commentating Pokemon XG a bit. So the length of the videos are kind of all over the place, which affects how frequently I can upload them. I do have a couple ideas for larger videos that I'd love to do this month, but I have no idea if I'm going to have the time to finish them. So besides all that, it's going to be a bit more quiet of a month. Honestly, I don't even know if I want to have an upload schedule for May and June. We'll see how I feel when we get closer to that time frame, but past couple months I've been kind of conflicted of how much I want to focus on basic playthrough videos, how much I want to do bigger video essays, and how much I don't want to do videos at all and just focus on other projects. So if things become inconsistent, that's probably why. I'll do my best to update to you all, at least out in the community post tab, whatever, as I go along. Pardon my tone, I've been a little tired today, and I just wanted to get this recording done because I already have like 90% of this video edited already. You see, I had a stream last week, and it kind of gave off Game and Chill vibes to me as is. So I decided to edit down the chain fishing part of the stream and use that as a placeholder until I have the opportunity to record the Game and Chill proper. I'll update the videos description and video cards with links to the full stream VOD proper, because on top of the chain fishing that you're about to see, I also did a little bit of ribbon grinding, revisiting a game mode from Pokemon X and Y that I haven't played in a long time. So there is quite a bit of experience to the whole stream if you haven't seen it already. Otherwise, I'll lead you to Jackie K of last Saturday as he rambles on about how things have been in a state that's just as tired, if not a little more tired than I am currently. So what you do is you try to reduce those odds of the chain breaking on its own by having a Pokemon that has the ability Sticky Hold or Suction Cups in your lead slot. That way your odds of actually getting a bite increase significantly. I know some people would argue otherwise, but from my experiences it can still run even if the Sticky Holder is in the lead. It's just significantly less likely to happen. And we just keep on going and talk about the weather and how things are going along until a shiny pops up. If I actually had things set up for this, I would have like a little counter on the bottom screen. But it's Corsola. If we find a shiny, it's not going to be Corsola. And trying to count each individual Corsola when they're so rare to actually pop up from this is just a whole mess in of itself. So, I'm trying to renumber. Yesterday was such a busy day that it's kind of hard to renumber everything that happened from the beginning. Like, I had it off from work, so that's already a bit of an advantage of itself. And I began the day with setting up some appointments that I couldn't do because the offices were literally only open during the exact time frame that I work. The worst part was that they canceled it on me so long ago. I was only now able to rearrange it because of that whole ordeal, but it's done, sorted out. It's not even the only, like, important thing I got done, so you'll on me for that. Then I got a nice little walk. Definitely nothing as extravagant as the walk I had today. It's kind of been an interesting weekend too because it's like the nationals for. There's the Corsola, by the way. It's not shiny, but our chain's still kind of young, so that's kind of to be expected. But that's kind of the problem. It appears so rarely. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the only Corsola we saw for the rest of the stream. Yeah, I peeked in it a couple times on that Pokemon Go stuff. More so yesterday than today, but there's definitely interesting things to watch in the background as I was working on other things. I know I've done some stuff in between, but the next thing I can remember was I actually made my own box art for the Pikmin 1 and 2 Switch release. Because here's the thing, like, the box art is based on the Japanese versions of both games, which makes sense because that's the game of origin, but I'm a spoiled little American that got real detailed, full stock images done with made out of clay for both the Pikmin 1 and 2 release. So I was actually pretty bummed out of how it worked out. So way long ago, I decided to try to Photoshop some box work of Pikmin 1 and 2, but based on the US box art instead of the Japanese one that the actual Switch release uses. I believe I post pictures of it on Blue Sky, so if you want to look at that, that would be your best bet to do so. I started it up a long time ago, but initially only really got, oh hey, hello Corsola number 2. And I think we're actually close to Chainots too, so we can hope, we can dream. It'll probably be another Loftus or a Whalmer, but we can hope. Yeah, I only got the front of the box art done for the longest time, and then yesterday, oh, that's what it was. I got an email saying that some Platinum points were expiring, so I was just trying to use them up. And one of the things I got was I noticed that on the Nintendo Rewards site they had a printable sheet for alternate box art for Super Mario RPG, and it's a pretty cool alternate box art. You print it out, and it's just the NES box, but made to fit onto a Switch case. I was so excited to print it out, but then I remembered that I bought the digital release of Super Mario RPG and not the initial one. Of course, now we run into all the Corsolas, though. When I just talk down on them so much and saying that we're never going to find them, let alone the shiny. I just can't help but feel like now that we got it all jinxed up, there's no way that we're going to get the shiny Corsola now. Like, there's been too many Corsolas for our shiny to actually be something else. So, yeah, Super Mario RPG. I bought the game, but I bought it digitally. For some reason, I forgot about that until after I printed it out. It wasn't all lost, though. Like, for one, it makes cool inside art for Super Mario Odyssey. And more importantly, it made me for sorry, that one took so long that I had to focus. As I was saying though, more importantly, it made for a good template to finally do the rest of the box art, including making the back and the spine. And my initial draft, which I uploaded, it looks pretty nice. I've already made a few tweaks to it that probably make it come out better, like including the Nintendo Switch logo and the Nintendo logo on the spine itself. But essentially what it is like a mishmash of the box art from Pikmin 1 and 2. I'm quite proud of it for how long it's been since I last touched Photoshop and all that. Because it's a little rough around the edges, but when you look at it from a distance, you can hardly even notice that the spine is like heavily edited to try to make the coloring from the GameCube box go across the entire spine. You barely even notice. Just a little... I was gonna save it for Game and Chill, but while we're just fishing away anyways, might as well do something to kill the time. No! Oh my god. Shoot, just when we were on a roll. Kinda wonder if the Dex Nav would be easier. Now, yeah, so I came across a Cortana raid. The issue is, like, unless I can solo it, I typically don't get to do raids outside of events because, one, I have not seen another local Pokemon Go player in years. Mostly because I stuck to playing in rural areas, because I prefer actually walking and enjoying the scenery rather than, like, stuffing myself in the city or driving around the car just to play the game with other people. So I'm there relying on remote raiding to actually be able to do anything. So, and even then, there's not really as many people accepting remote raids as they used to. For obvious reasons, if you've been keeping up with Pokemon Go and their shenanigans. Anyways, like, Cortana's like in the raid rotation at the current moment. At least when you can sneak it in, beside when they're not shoving shallow raids that I can't do down my throat. Speaking of which, I think like I was going on that whole ordeal about things that I did yesterday, but I think like the Shroomish itself was something I got as soon as yesterday. Yeah. And I got a lot to go through before we even get to that point. Still rambling on about the Pokemon raids. I guess the point of that was I found Cortana. I found someone to do it with, and it was easy because it was 4 times a week. The only issue was I tried a couple times and no one accepted the invite, so I was thinking about jumping in on myself, which after a bit of googling, possible, but only with the most optimal setup. And I wasn't sure, and I haven't really invested too many resources into new Pokemon for raiding in a little bit, so I wasn't sure if I would be up on that boat. Luckily a friend came in and bailed me out of that awkward situation, and we both got a chance to catch the Pokemon just fine. Unfortunately, neither of us did, because Cortana's a awkward little bugger. Awkward little bug. Sure, it's grass type, but I had to correct myself there. I'm so used to what I said not being an issue of a word, but apparently in some regions it's a bigger deal than not, so... The internet is universal, so if I'm aware of something being an issue, it'd be for the best for me not to try to avoid it, even if it's not an issue in my particular part of the world. But yeah, the stupid Cortana got away from us both, and I'd probably be more upset about it, because this is the first and probably only Cortana raid that I'll be doing this time around. I was able to get... I think the last time it came around, I actually had people to raid with. So at least I have a Cortana to use in Pokemon Go. But I was really hoping to catch one, if only to get better IVs or more candy. And as I was saying, at least the consolation prize, if it gave us specifically Cortana XL candy, or at least gave that to me. So, at least I got something out of my raid pass. Also, it was a local raid pass because I've never done more than 3 raids in a single day outside of raid day events. So yeah, that wasn't. It helps that it also helps that it was free. It makes me feel a little more bad about dragging a friend into it, only to find out that they didn't actually get it. It would have been kind of funny if, like, the one time I did a raid, it was actually shiny. Would have been nice if just for the can. I would have taken that just for the candy, but wouldn't complain about a shiny Cortana. Heard it's not as good as the Ultra Beasts on the other part of the world, because they divide Cortana and the Big Bell into alternate regionals. Oh my god! Yeah, I used some budgeting as an excuse to actually watch some of the Pokemon Go stream, just like have that in the background as I was taking care of my finances and all. Bring it up because I think that's like the next thing I did after having lunch and that. And then I talked about the Pikmin 1 and 2 cover that I mentioned. I think I even did that while watching the stream as well. Competitive Pokemon Go PvP is kind of a interesting beast. Like, I don't find it interesting enough to actually take place in it myself, but I do respect it. I actually respect it more than the VGC or the main series competitive scene. I don't know, it's just the Pokemon variety seems more interesting to me, and the competitive scene this generation is just from an outsider looking in, it seems like a complete mess with terraforms just and ultra powerful Pokemon just wrecking all of the competitive viabiliness. I hear it's not as bad in doubles, which is what the official people actually care about, but still. Yeah, like, the open source I'm not sure. I mentioned it earlier, but yeah, another thing I did yesterday was actually get into this game design software that I wanted to learn. It's called Godot. Except it's probably not pronounced that way. But who cares? English has always been my second weakest subject. First weakest being Spanish, and if I were to actually take another language like French, that'd probably be the negative first weakest subject that I had in high school. At least in high school. I feel like I was, quote unquote, that smart kid in high school phase, but that immediately fell off when I went to college, and I'm not sure how much of it was just the curriculum getting harder, or if I just peaked in high school. Like, I've gotten so many shinies on my own lately. Feels kind of bad that I haven't been able to share the experience of excitement with anyone because it's on my own time. Like, YouTube's not my job, so I can't record every single second of my life as I'm doing things. And the shiny hunting is like a good activity for multitasking things, like things that I normally wouldn't waste a recording session or a stream on in the first place. Like treadmilling. There's been a lot of times when I plan on going on a treadmill for only 20 to 30 minutes and I ended up going 50, if not a whole hour. Just because I'm like, just until I find that shiny. Just until this chain breaks. There's no point in stopping now. All the work that I've done up to this point will go to waste, and like, I'm at least getting something out of it because I'm constantly walking and burning the calories and getting steps for Pokemon Go and any other accessory apps that might reward me for walking and all that. That's kind of like the biggest drive to actually exercise so consistently for me, because like, one, I'll admit I have the privilege of even having a treadmill at home, so even if the weather's not nice out, I can still pull out a Game Boy Advance, a Switch, even a Steam Deck, and just play a game while getting my steps in. Where was I going with this? The sleepiness is really ticking in. It does remind me that never actually talked about everything that happened. Like, yeah, trading cards. I think Shroomish found that shiny Shroomish. That's a whole thing of itself, and apparently that's all I have down until I actually went to bed. I mean, it doesn't feel like a lot now that I talked about it, but there's a lot of big things I finally would never get around to doing, like finishing that Pikmin box art, or actually putting time aside to actually work on learning game design. Like, ever since getting into mine's kind of been a double-edged sword, because on one hand, it actually gave me a way to express my interest in game design, even if the program was too much over my head, but also it was a bit so much a safety net that a lot of times I was more comfortable just sticking to what I was comfortable with rather than actually pushing my limits and trying to learn more so I can actually make what I want to make. It's just, it sucks when there's so much you have to juggle in life. Yeah, speaking of shiny Pokemon, it feels like this weekend's been pretty good for the shiny luck. Despite not getting anything in Legends Arceus for the longest time, but so many other places have been pretty good. Like, there's the Shroomish yesterday. I even got around to mentioning how oh hey, aren't you like Corsola number 4? Of course you're not blue. I've kind of lost track of where our chain was when we ran across this thing. It could have been 20 if someone didn't just... I don't even know who to blame for messing up the reaction time. Because it feels like I'm not... It doesn't feel like I'm waiting too long to actually press it, even when I do screw it up. But yeah, like on the walk I had today, I actually found a shiny Joltik in Pokemon Go. That's pretty hype, because that was a Pokemon that I wanted for a while. And like, Pokemon Go so all over the place of what's allowed to be shiny and what's not, that these days I often forget when something's a shiny Pokemon and when it's not. Bring it for Corsola number 5. I only remember if it's Corsola number 5 anymore. I wouldn't be surprised if I missed one while counting and being tired and loopy. I don't know if I'm loopy yet, but... Where was I at? Man, I had something good going. Oh yeah, me and socialization. When I'm tired, the first thing to go is my ability to talk. Not even in terms of being loopy. Like, I am kind of introverted by nature, which dives into a little bit deeper things that I rather keep to myself. But when I'm tired, all my desire to talk goes out the window. Shortly after, my ability to talk just goes out the window. I'm surprised that I'm talking as we speak. Yeah, it's not even like late, but I guess the fact of only getting less than 7 hours of sleep. If there was more places to fish for Corsola, I would have tried them by now, because Dree loves this and a Whalmer is plenty of shinies more than I ever need. In fact, like, the whole reason that I'm fishing for Corsola was I wanted to find a Pokemon, this chainfish, to let me get a feel of what it's like. And trying to find something I didn't already have between Pokemon Go and the main series games, which, like, Pokemon Go, I've got enough Whalmers. Like, there has been a Community Day, but it feels like I've gotten a decent handful of Whalmers otherwise. And, like, Luffus is a nice shiny, but I forget, I don't think I got too many from Pokemon Go, but I know I've gotten at least one. And that's if that wasn't enough, like, then the 3 that I've caught so far up to this point are definitely plenty in of itself. So yeah. I wanted to find something fun to chain fish. And the only thing I could think of was the Corsola. And of course the thing that I wanted to chain fish the most is the rare encounter. Possibly 1% of the bunch. You know what, while we're buying for time anyways, I could probably just look up set odds. Not like I'm doing much else anyways. Mega Ruby. Like, I want to focus when we're actually doing the fish, but there's plenty of time during all these animations. Even with the animations turned off, there's still the animation of throwing the ball and seeing the Pokemon. There's plenty of time in between all that to actually check. I swear, if this ends up being the time I go for 40 minutes before breaking my chain. Okay, nothing. I got the therapy page open up. Fish. Details. Oh, you can actually find it underwater. But I could probably just use Dexnap if that was the case. Plus it's 4%. It's a 5%er, which is still pretty low, but is not 1%, so I should really stop calling it that. You know what, do I have the Shroomish in the party? I didn't even think about that, but maybe I could at least work towards getting the effort ribbon. Not against level 30 Wailmers, but I wish I came up with that idea sooner. Because I could, like, get 30 levels. I also could probably just, like, I'll probably get 30 levels just taking it for... Hey! Finally! It's a slight shame that it's another love disc. But I don't care at this point. It's something. So let's get you to sleep. Man, all this type of like, man, I really wish I could have recorded my reactions to some of the shinies I've gotten on my own time, and yet the one time I do get a shiny on stream, the only thing I can muster is a, oh hey, we got it. I swear that's just me being tired talking more so than I am happy we got it. I'm just tired. Why do I catch this one in? Like, dive isn't always a nice one to fall back on because of water theme, but I've gotten one dive ball already. I wonder if Nest Ball would still work on it. Luxury Ball could be nice too. Almost like maybe I could catch it in a Dust Ball just to like reflect how sleepy I am. But I also like matching up with the colors. Yeah, I'm sure unfortunately, I'm pretty sure this won't be the last shiny Leftis I run into. Sleepy to Leftis for sleepy time. Yeah. I feel just enough motivation to keep on going, but not while commenting or recording. Oh, that's right, you get experience for catching Pokemon. Well, guess I got some work going towards that footprint ribbon after all. And I don't. Do I call you Stream or do I call you Sleepy? I've been trying to name these Loftus after things I've been doing. Sleepy sounds just more cuter of a name than Stream, though. So, Sleepy you shall be. Right, I guess we should check up on the Loftus before ending things off at the very least. Hey, it came of a heart scale. And it's timid. Nice. That seems like a cool nature for Sleepy. Not like you use it for battling at all, but that's actually probably the best nature for Loftus that you can get. Too bad it's a Loftus. Timid nature. And it likes to scatter things. Well, it's a bit later than I wanted to go. Like, I would have loved to, like, end streaming at 9 and have a little more time to myself, but hey, got a shiny out of it all. More importantly, made some progress on my Breloom. Again, all stuff that I was at the very start of the stream, I felt I would be doing on my own time anyways. Let's get this done. I'll feel tomorrow, I guess. I'm gonna go to bed, or at the very least change into bedtime clothes. Take care, all.